And while I do have an accounting degree, I think there is an opportunity for me to use the accounting degree that I have and merge it with what I'm interested in and meet it somewhere in the middle. It's something that I've recently been brainstorming. So I'm not sad that I didn't get an internship related to my field. I'm grateful because, like I said, the experiences, they are transferable, and it has made me who I am today. It has created new interest for me, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, that is fantastic, Sephora, because a lot of times you do not get a job within your degree. And a lot of times we do internships or have a job like you did, and I call it a co-op job, in the sense that you're working a job that wasn't directly related to your major. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Career Education Learning Center podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell Rivers. I am thrilled and excited to have Zipporah Ward on our show today. Zipporah is a recent graduate of the University of the Virgin Islands with a bachelor's degree in accounting. How are you doing this morning, Zipporah?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm doing wonderful, and it's such a pleasure to be invited to be on this podcast today.
Well, thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate you coming on the show. Zipporah, tell the audience a little bit of why did you go to University of Virgin Islands and not no other university like in the States or Europe?
Honestly, even from when I was small, I always knew that I would prefer going to a university that was closer to home. I'm from St. Kitts, which is in the Caribbean, and the University of the Virgin Islands is in the Virgin Islands, which is also part of the Caribbean. Upon searching between the Caribbean of all universities that was offered, I realized that the University of the Virgin Islands was an HBCU school, and I was really interested in going to an HBCU university. I've seen HBCUs portrayed on television all the time, and I just love the vibrancy that it has with culture and experiences, and I knew that I wanted to experience that. Every time I see HBCUs or hear about them, it's always about students expressing how they really found themselves and got in tune with their culture and their heritage and themselves at the HBCUs, and that's exactly what I wanted. So that's the reason why I chose the University of the Virgin Islands.
Man, yeah, HBCU does have a lot of good history, especially here in America. HBCUs came about during segregation. We weren't able to attend schools of other races, especially the white race. And when they segregated us, and so we're segregated to our own schools. And so HBCUs that came out of nowhere became very vibrant within the African-American community here in America. And it's been a great experience. I've had my parents and one of my sons attend HBCU. So I hear so much from my friends and family about the great support that you get from HBCU. And apparently you got to experience that. What did you enjoy most about attending University of Virgin Islands?
I just really enjoyed being around Caribbean people because they have so much to tell. Even though we're all from the Caribbean, they're from St. Thomas, and I learned a lot about St. Thomas culture in itself. And in addition to that, the University of the Virgin Islands provided multiple opportunities for us to learn about our heritage. Just this February that went, which was International Black Awareness Month, there was a series provided by the school, and I learned so much about my people that I never would have known if I didn't attend the University of the Virgin Islands. Of course, there's always an opportunity for a person like myself to go and explore on my own, but going to a school where it allows you to learn more about yourself interested was very nice because that's what I wanted, and I was able to get that because they provided multiple opportunities for me to get that.
Now, a lot of times in America, there's a big transition from high school to college. Either the challenge is academically or it's socially. Did you have any challenges your freshman year attending University of Virgin Islands, either academically or socially?
Well, I feel like I did have a few challenges academically, but that was on my part. So when I first started university, I was really occupied with having jobs. I ended up having 2 part-time jobs while I was still overloading because I wanted to finish university quicker than usual. So it was hard balancing both jobs and still keeping up with school, but I was able to find myself and come back. When I realized one semester that my GPA had dropped, I understood that I needed to get rid of one of the jobs so that I could really focus on studying. In terms of socially, when I first came, it was new. These were new people. This was also the first time that I had traveled out of my country. So being there for the first time, I guess you can say I was shy. And it wasn't about until the second semester that I really started to find myself, find my friends, and then that's when I became outgoing. I think in the second semester, that's when I realized that I'm not going to be here forever. And the school is vibrant. They have a lot of activities. My first semester, I was too shy to join the activities. But for my second semester, I decided I will be taking advantage of all these opportunities. And I went to activities, I met new people, and I even have friends who, even now that I've graduated, I'm still connected with. I even spoke to them this morning. So I would say that I started being shy and then I eventually opened up. And in terms of academically, I did drop low when I did have the two jobs, but then I realized and then I got back up in academically wise.
I'm laughing inside so much because I did the same thing. I did the exact same thing. I had two part-time jobs like you did going to school, and I went to a community college at first, and I could not handle it. And I was doing so much that I became exhausted, and the doctor told me you had to drop one of those jobs, because it was just too much overload, as you said. And so I dropped one of those jobs, start eating correctly, exercising, and my grades went up. I felt a whole lot better. And so it's one thing that taught me is that, hey, you can burn out real fast trying to do too much at one time. Even though you're young and you're vibrant, you can't do but so much and have so much on your plate. And so after I dropped that one job and then just had part-time job and going to school, I felt a whole lot better. And I want to audience to realize that as young people or even older people who go back to school, don't try to overload yourself. Take your time. The school is not going nowhere. It's been there before you were born. It's going to be there after you're dead. That school will be there. But you may not be there if you burn yourself out. So make sure you take your time. Would you agree with that statement?
Yes, I do agree with that statement. I don't have much things that I did that I'm ashamed of. I wish that I had go back and change it. But to anyone that's going to university, I'm going to tell them, don't rush, enjoy. The reason why I rushed is because, well, obviously you have to pay for university. And I had in my head that if I finish university quicker, that's less money that I would have to spend. But now that I've graduated, I took only 2 years for a 4-year degree. Now that I've graduated, I miss it and I wish I took the time to spend with my friends, enjoy the time because I've graduated but my friends are still at university. And even though I'm here, I'm seeing them experience the university life that I once had. And that's the only thing I miss. So to anyone that's going to university, I will actually tell them, don't rush it, enjoy it. Because it's one period of your life and you should experience it to the fullest. Because after university, if you don't pursue a master's degree, it's work. And even if you do pursue a master's degree, it's not going to be the same as your undergraduate degree. It's not going to be the same as your first time in university. All of those first experiences, you're going to miss out on it if you think, oh, I need to finish university now. That's my only regret I would have.
Yeah, and I didn't know, again, we can be brothers and sisters in another mother and another time because I did the same thing and realized that at the same time. I was not participating in a lot of activities on school, and previous guests, especially students, emphasized that you need to really get involved in the school, really get that college experience because you can't get it back. One thing we can't get back is time. And once time is gone, it's gone. And so to cherish that experience, say, you know what? I need to go ahead and get more involved. So by my junior, senior year at my university, I started getting more involved as people say, hey, this experience comes once in a lifetime, Mitchell. You better go ahead and get involved. So I did like you did. I got more involved. I just didn't like graduate early. Okay, it took me a whole lot longer to graduate from community college and 4-year college than it did for you, Zipporah. I took a whole lot longer to do that. So
tell everyone, take advantage of all the opportunities you have at university. I know from my university specifically, they gave us multiple opportunities. That's one of the greatest things about the University of the Virgin Islands.
Yes. So did you do an internship or any type of part-time job that's kind of related to your major?
I didn't do one exactly related to my major. I did have an internship. It was originally my job, and then I used it as my internship. So the issue with that situation was, while having internships are really good, I don't think much people take into consideration the status of international students. Of course, an internship is always the goal. And I ended up going to a convention where I could have had the opportunity to discuss with multiple 500 companies. It was the Thurgood Marshall Leadership Institute that happened in the fall. And while they do offer internships, they don't offer the sponsorship. I think the thing that no one really notices is, as an international student, we can't just get up and go for an internship. We have rules and regulations, and we have to get permission first. And most of the companies, of course, they're going to pick someone where it's easier to just grant them the internship, someone who is a US citizen. So when I did go to Washington, D.C., although I got opportunities, upon realizing that I was an international student, it wouldn't really work. So I ended up just using my job as an internship. And although it wasn't directly related to accounting, I think that I've gained a lot of experiences that would be able to transfer into the working world. Now that I'm graduated with an accounting degree, I'm realizing that the jobs that I'm interested in is not even accounting. When I first at university, I expected to have an accounting degree, but I believe that all the experiences that you gain, they kind of make you into the person that you are. And if I didn't get my jobs as a research assistant or a peer leader, nothing related to accounting, I wouldn't have realized that I actually like research. I wouldn't have realized that I like volunteering and being philanthropic. So those experiences made me into the person I am today. And while I do have an accounting degree, I think there is an opportunity for me to use the accounting degree that I have and merge it with what I'm interested in and meet it somewhere in the middle. It's something that I've recently been brainstorming. So I'm not sad that I didn't get an internship related to my field. I'm grateful because, like I said, the experiences, they are transferable, and it has made me who I am today. It has created new interests for me, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, that is fantastic, Zipporah, because a lot of times you do not get a job within your degree. And a lot of times we do internships or have a job like you did, and I call it a co-op job, in the sense that you're working a job that wasn't directly related to your major, but it's a job that's something you may be interested in. And so once you get that experience and realize, hey, I may not want to go strictly to accounting. It may not be accounting related, but it's something that I'm interested in. And so you just mentioned that you're an international student. Where are you from, as far as what country you're from, to go to University of Virgin Islands?
So I'm from the beautiful Federation of the St. Kitts and Nevis. It's two small islands in the Eastern Caribbean, and the University of the Virgin Islands is located in St. Thomas, which is just a little bit further up, closer to the mainland. So it's close to home because it's in the Caribbean. And also, there's scholarships provided at home in St. Kitts to allow students to go to the University of the Virgin Islands at a decreased cost. So it's a very good opportunity for students from St. Kitts and Nevis. And even when you go to University of the Virgin Islands, they do have a lot of opportunities, and some of them, they take into consideration international students. Like I mentioned, because of the University of the Virgin Islands, I was able to travel to Washington, D.C. for the Leadership Institute, but it doesn't guarantee that the persons that I meet or the companies that I interact with would be willing to hire an international student. But the university still gave us that opportunity. Regardless, I'm grateful because it was a learning, everything is a learning experience, honestly. Before I went to that institute conference, I was very shy. I had problems speaking. I do still struggle with those, but because I was there for the entire weekend, I was forced to come out of my shell and speak to managers, speak to other employees, and it became second nature after a while. So I'm just had. I know I strayed from the question a bit.
No, in fact, you're already ahead of me. That was my next question. Was what experience did you get from attending that conference, and what did you learn? And so you're already ahead of me. That's how smart she is, ladies and gentlemen. She's already ahead what questions I want to ask. I don't know if she's seen my notes or what in my head, but apparently she's already ahead of me. So And so, did you do any have you done any volunteering or anything that's related to just helping organizations out, anything like that? Any volunteering while you was in school?
Yes, I did volunteer a few times. Although I like to volunteer, I don't enjoy every type of volunteering. Majority of the volunteering that I did at school was beach cleanup. I don't know, but I did beach cleanup a few times. There was also opportunities for me to volunteer with the University of the Virgin Islands. We would travel to St. John when they had career days or anything that had any of the school, any situations where the schools was going. So the students, us from the University of the Virgin Islands, since we're older, we were used as like chaperones for the younger students to carry them around to the events. So that's a few of the volunteering stuff that I did. I also volunteered on my own time. There's a thrift store. I always go there. I donate my clothes. I don't work there, but sometimes when I do go there, I speak with the people and I'm like, oh, well, I actually have something like that you're looking at home. I have no problem volunteering it here so that you could get it. Anything that I find that I could do, I do it because, well, there's this quote. I once heard it in a movie. And it goes, prime purpose in life is to help others. And if we cannot help them, at least don't hurt them. And I feel like if I had to pick one quote to really express who I am or for a person to know what my values are, it will be that quote. Because I feel like if we're not here to help others, then what's the point of us being here? So anywhere, no matter how trivial it is that I could help someone, even if it's just giving someone some money on the side of the road, it's good with me. And I do it so often that when you ask me a question like that, I can't even think exactly about a situation when I did it because I do it all the time. It definitely feels like second nature to me. Even when I was in St. Kitts, I was part of the St. Kitts Nevis Youth Department. Once again, we did beach cleanups, but I am volunteer and hopefully I get something a bit more fulfilling than beach cleanup. I don't want to say that beach cleanup is not important. It's very important because there's a lot of trash that is put on the beach and it shouldn't be like that. But I'm not interested in touching the trash.
Well, that is great because you need to do beach cleanup, and everybody knew the beach cleanup also, Zipporah. Yes. And that's one thing I'm glad you said, that you didn't do it, but you did it anyway. And that's part of life, being disciplined, right? I try to tell my sons that all the time. Look, discipline is doing things that have to be done, even though you don't want to do it. And I'm pretty sure at times that nobody want to do beach cleanup. I'm pretty sure at times people don't want to clean up, like I heard in other countries that they have for the whole nation cleaning up. But it looks a whole lot better. And when you go there, you have fun, it's clean and everything else. So I'm glad you talk honestly about that because a lot of times I don't want to do things that presented to me, right? And I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing this, but you did it anyway because it is the right thing to do and it helps out the whole community. And see, that's part of your community leadership there, that you'll be taking forward. Look, son or daughter, look, I did not feel like doing beach cleanup when I was in school, but we did beach cleanup for people to come out to a clean beach, right? And everything in the echo cycle will be good and healthy because man has gone in there and invaded that beach and put all that trash and everything that's around that beach and want maids and butlers to pick it up. and then I end up being the maid and my male friend being the butlers picking up this beach. So what I'm gonna tell you to do is that you're gonna do this and that because if I had to do it, you're gonna have to do it. See, you learn a lot just about beach cleanup. See how much you learn, Zipporah?
Yes, but it actually do be a little bit fulfilling because at the end of the beach cleanup, when you look at the amount of garbage bags that's filled with garbage, you're shocked because most of the time it's the beaches that I visit that I end up cleaning. Because depending on where you live, they will tell you to clean the beach in that area. And visiting the beach versus cleaning up the beach is two different experiences. And I guess as an individual, beforehand, I never really paid much attention to what I do in my trash. But having these experiences, I now know, make an effort to put the trash inside of the trash bin. And I will tell my friends as well.
Yeah, see, you learn something. See, now you realize how I feel. See, everybody else, if we made everybody do beach cleanup, or everybody clean up within a town or city, it wouldn't be too much to clean up because everybody would be more responsible of their trash and be more responsible of recyclable things to put in the recyclable bin and make it easy on everybody. So everybody wins in that system.
Yeah, just provide garbage bins. You could put your trash in the garbage instead of putting it on the floor. It's not that hard.
I also seen on your profile where you had a Disney World trip. Is that correct? Did you go to Disney World?
No.
Did you have a Disney World trip, or did you visit any other area, any amusement parks, anything?
No, I did not have a Disney World trip. I would have loved to have one, but perhaps you have mistaken me for someone else. I did not have a Disney World trip.
You know what? I'm forecasting that you will have a Disney World trip. That's what I'm doing. See, I may wrote that down in and say, Zipporah, in your future, because you did beach cleanup, then you will have a Disney World trip coming your way. As you stated to me earlier, before we came to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, she said, Mr. Rivers, I see that you're going to expand things and just talking just positivity into my life. And I appreciate that. I really do. And that's before we started the podcast. So as you can see, this is a wonderful, beautiful young lady here speaking positively and telling us about her experience at the University of Virgin Islands. And I really do appreciate that. Do you have any words of wisdom for our young people who may be an international student going to a different area or just going to college in general?
Well, my words of advice would be, like I said before, take advantage of every opportunity, especially if you're in a new environment. It took me a very long while to venture off of campus and delve myself into the St. Thomas culture. But especially if you're going somewhere that's new, or even if you're staying at home, take advantage of every opportunity. There's always someone you could meet. There's always something you can learn. Never think that you know everything, because the smartest person on earth is the person who knows that they know nothing at all. Always take advantage of all opportunities. Always be open. Always try. Don't ever give up. You can take a break, but always try. Just be open. There's a lot to learn in life. There's so many people that you've had the opportunity to be alive at the same time as them. You need to meet them. You need to make a good impression. You need to have fun. You need to enjoy life. Take advantage of all opportunities. That's something that I recently learned when I went to university. That's what my advice would be to them. I wish I didn't take that long to notice it, but it's better late than never.
Well, I tell you what, those party words for our young people are very valuable and very helpful, because you do need to have fun and get involved with that college experience that you will not experience no more. Even if you go back to school, like you said, your master's degree, or go back later on in life, that's the once lifetime experience when you're between the ages of 18 and 24 or 23, and you get to experience that, meeting new people, being on campus, one of the activities, and experiencing different conferences and stuff. That, as a young person, will help shape you who you will become as an adult, and you learn things along the way. So thank you so much, Zipporah, for coming on our show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
And I would like to thank our viewers and listeners for joining me, Mr. Rivers, on the Career Education Learning Center podcast, where we make your career dreams a reality. You can also catch me on WDRNmedia.com, where I do a special segment called Got Resources every Thursday morning at 11:30 a.m. God bless.